So is it any surprise that Labour decide that maybe they don't need even local investigations into Gape Rangs?
Let's watch some crazy stuff, yo! Jeez, Rick, oh my God!
Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers you, and welcome to another video. So, Labour have announced that the money, £5 million I think it was, which is not a lot really, but there you go, that was going to be invested into local investigations into Gape Rangs, is now not going to be spent like that. It's going to be sent into some non-existent bullshittery. So, after the huge storm over the sexual exploitation and Gape ranging, I have to be careful what I say, else YouTube will get rid of it, of thousands of white British girls because of Elon Musk actually drawing attention to the fact that that's what they were doing, and having a vote on it where Keir Starling told everybody to vote against the investigation, and then him and his front bench abstained from that vote, to basically throwing everybody under the bus. Then they announced there was going to be money into local investigations, and now that's gone as well. But then again, when you see Labour councillor after Labour MP getting arrested and charged with sexual assaults, is it any wonder? Is it any surprise that they don't want an investigation into Gape ranging? Yeah, there's no surprise there. Now, remember that Conform said that, I mean, like pretty much, yeah, we're all gonna, if they won't do it, we'll fund an investigation, and then it all went really, really quiet, which is no surprise really, because let's be honest, everybody when it comes to talking about that were only interested in sound bites and gaslighting or virtue signalling themselves, depending on which way they did it, because there was never an intention of any of them doing anything. I mean, there never has been and never will be. Well, we say that until we get Rupert low. I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. There'll be a link to the fundraiser below. Has raised now over £500,000 to launch an independent investigation into the Gape Rangs. Now, obviously, we all know that an independent investigation doesn't have any legal powers as such. It can't force people to give evidence, but at least it will be somebody taking a look for a change, somebody actually viably and physically doing at least something, instead of word salads and posturing. The wholesale abuse, and remember, I've said, every time I spoke about this, I also have to try and remind people that this is still going on. It's still an ongoing thing. It's not something that was historic and has upped and vanished and is no longer being done. It's still going on. It's still a thing. But the industrial rape, and I can say that now because I'm well into the video, of our young girls, the grooming, the prostitution, and everything else that went on. The fact that councils and police ignored everything, blamed the girls and not anything else. But then again, when you start looking deeper, they're all involved as well. I think we have to come to the conclusion that, just like Hollywood, it's a massive paedophile thing. Probably get into trouble for saying that. The thing is, I've done, you know, it can make your blood boil to an epic scale. It really can, because again, it happens and everybody gets all interested in the sound bites, and then because in reality they don't care. In reality, because it has been done and was done by predominantly men of Pakistani origin and therefore predominantly Muslims, nothing's going to happen, because it is blatantly obvious in this country that there is only one group of people that the government, the judiciary and the police care about, and that isn't us. It's the Muslims. It's Islam. You're Islamophobic. It's just, it makes me ashamed to say that I'm British. It's a shame to make me say that I'm English, that this stuff has been allowed to happen, and hundreds of people who are in positions of power, in positions of responsibility, either turned a blind eye to it or were actively participating in it. It's a sickening reflection on how society has got. You know, when I've covered it before on older videos, you go back, where people are actually discussing whether paedophiles should be helped and accepted in society as, was it, MAPS, minor attractive persons. They're trying to make it like it's something that should be acceptable, and it just isn't. But then again, when you make the effort to raise awareness to this and to say something about it, you get attacked and insulted and called everything under the sun. We focus so much now in society on misogyny and toxic masculinity, but then ignore middle-aged, and they are quite a lot of the middle-aged Asian Muslim men raping girls on a biblical scale. That doesn't get mentioned. I mean, we can always go back to the old adolescence thing, the TV series, which was wildly inaccurate, extremely racist to white people, being portrayed as some sort of brilliant documentary into things, where we'll do that and focus on that and slam down white boys and white men, but we won't touch that. Now, I know another MP has stood up and said, oh, it's wrong and this, that and the other, but it's too late. You see, if a government deliberately votes against an investigation, quoting whatever bullshit reason, then you have to ask yourself and ask yourself the question, why? Why don't they want somebody sticking their nose in and finding out where it goes? And then again, I'll draw you back to the beginning of my video when I said where MP and councillor Liebour are being frequently arrested and charged with sexual assaults. And they're always on minors, have you noticed? And every time that happens, I think we realise and should understand why they don't want an investigation. It's sickening, it's depraved, it's frightening, and it's still ongoing. Any case, 2 videos coming up at the end of this. One will be the last one I uploaded. The other one will be the one that YouTube will have picked with its amazing algorithm that picks those videos but cripples channels like mine. It's called The Chosen One. You can like, you can share, you can attempt to pass a comment in the comment section, but of course, unfortunately at the moment with the comment section, maybe not so easy. And again, I do apologise, but there's nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. It's the content I talk about and the political side of the spectrum I sit on, I guess. If you agree with what I'm doing and like what I'm doing, you can hit the subscribe button. A subscribe, a like, and an attempted comment is more than enough. If you wish to support in any other way, obviously there's the Ko-fi QR code there. You can go on Patreon. You can go on PayPal. You can become a member. You can super thanks, super chats, all that. But again, I'll reiterate, because as soon as you start mentioning stuff like that, oh, well, you're nothing but a grifter. Look, We live in a world where, especially the country, where financially it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. We're all in the same boat. I am in the same boat as the rest of you. So I can't afford memberships all the time. I can't afford to do this, that and the other. But if I can, and when I've got the funds to do so, I do. Because, you know, there's a lot of effort and work put into these videos. And a lot of risk as well, which I think a lot of people forget. Any case, I'm waffling. Enough of that. I'm done. So, until the next one.
What the fuck is this?